Whatever you think of Trump, whether you like him or you hate him, I couldn't care less. This is a big story that's been breaking over the past couple of hours. It seems like President Trump has some kind of peace deal where they can stop the killing, Hamas and Israel and all those guys there in the Middle East. I mean, if he can pull off this, just peace, just stop the killing, stop the killing. So here's some new information over the past couple of hours.
Right, well, let's turn to some breaking news that's just been coming in now. US President Donald Trump has just issued a deadline for Hamas to respond to his 20-point Gaza ceasefire proposal. Now, in a Truth Social post, Trump says Hamas has been a ruthless and violent threat for many years in the Middle East. An agreement must be reached with Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. Let's go straight to Kimberly Halkett now on that break.
So now it seems like he's now pretty much fucking fed up with these people. Right? Whether they're right or wrong, I mean, he just wants this now to stop. 6 p.m. Sunday evening.
Breaking news, a post there by Donald Trump. But what more has he said?
Yeah, well, the U.S. president clearly putting Hamas on notice. What he's argued is that there has been ample time to look over that 20-point proposal that was put forward by the U.S. president, one that was agreed to on Monday, earlier this week, by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And now what the U.S. president is looking for is for Hamas to sign as well. He believes that this is something that will achieve what he says is 3,000 years of
that would be amazing.
An end to 3,000 years of conflict, and that it will finally, in his words, bring peace to the Middle East.
Yes.
So this is the U.S. president essentially putting pressure on Hamas to come to a decision.
An agreement must be reached with Hamas by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. Every country has signed on. If this last chance agreement is not reached, all hell, like no one has ever seen before, will break out against Hamas. There will be peace in the Middle East, one way or the other. I really do not think that he is now pissing around anymore. He now wants to end this now.
Now, we know that obviously Hamas has been considering this document, but we also know that there has been support initially for the proposal in terms of the Arab population, in terms of the Arab governments, rather. But that changed when the U.S. president changed the document and sort of watered it down in favor of Israel. So the U.S. president, once again, is putting the group on notice as a result of this post.
All right, so yes, he's now putting it out there. Thanks, Al Jazeera. He's now putting it out there, and they need to now start accepting this, right? And then we have this overnight from Fox.
To the Middle East. A live look at Gaza on what is now Saturday morning there, approaching 4 in the morning, Israel Standard Time. Let's get the latest on ceasefire negotiations. We did get a response from Hamas today. Caroline Shively catching us up.
I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents.
The White House releasing this video Friday night after Hamas announced it was willing to free all Israeli hostages under certain conditions.
We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete.
But Hamas did not agree to all of the president's 20-point plan.
Well, there are definitely a couple of poison pills in the Hamas statement. The biggest one is that the end state they anticipate is a unified Palestinian framework with Hamas completely involved.
Friday morning, President Trump laid out a Sunday night deadline for Hamas leaders to accept the deal.
If they don't, the consequences, unfortunately, are going to be very tragic.
Then Friday afternoon, Hamas announced a willingness for a hostage exchange. Their official statement made no mention of destroying tunnels and weapon production facilities as required in the U.S. plan. But Hamas leaders said Friday they would give up arms if Palestinians are put in charge of Gaza.
I think that this is a White House that is willing to take what they can get when they can get it.
It's estimated Hamas is still holding on to 20 living hostages and the bodies of 28 others.
This has drug on far too long. These hostages have been kept now for far too long. It must come to an end.
Tuesday marks the second anniversary of the war, which has killed more than 1,200 Israelis and 66,000 Palestinians. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
We did hear from President Trump on social media and on camera today. Here's what he posted on Truth earlier today. Based on the statement just issued by Hamas, I believe they are ready for a lasting peace.
That would be amazing.
Israel must immediately stop the bombing of Gaza so that we can get the hostages out safely and quickly. Right now, it's far too dangerous to do that. We are already in discussions on details to be worked out. This is not about Gaza alone. This is about long-sought peace in the Middle East. You heard a piece of President Trump speaking in Caroline's piece. His remarks were 70 seconds long. Let's play the full thing out before we check in with Hal.
Put this together. Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, and so many others. So many people fought so hard. This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down in concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents and having some of the hostages, unfortunately, you know the condition they're in, come home likewise to their parents because their parents wanted them just as much as though that young man or young woman were alive. So I just want to let you know that this is a very special day, maybe unprecedented in many ways. It is unprecedented, but thank you all, and thank you all to those great countries that helped. We were given a tremendous amount of help. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East, and we're very close to achieving that. Thank you all, and everybody will be treated fairly.
Standing by here with me still is Hal.
That would, I mean, I understand many people do not like him, but I mean, how can you be against war, against stopping war, against just killing and killing and killing of people the whole time? Honestly, if he doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize for this, I don't know. But yeah, so now it's an agreement that they have now proposed.
As we reported at the top of the show, Hamas reportedly agreeing to release all hostages as part of President Trump's deal. Let's go to Greg Palcott for the latest details. Greg?
Hey, Will, that is absolutely true. They initially had said that they would agree to the handing over of the hostages, both dead and alive, Israeli individuals that they'd been holding for almost 2 years now. They also agreed on the surface to hand over power to another entity in Gaza Strip. But Will, I think we were very good in being careful about this announcement because we are getting more details. In fact, what they are now saying, Hamas, quoted by Reuters through also the Al Jazeera television network, is that yes, they will hand over the hostages, but under the details of the plan that President Trump has provided, it is not going to be within 72 hours. Also, this entity that is being handed over, that the Gaza Strip is being handed over to, would have to include in some way Hamas, at least in the negotiation stage. And that's something that that President Trump and Israel have not wanted. Basically, the deadline was for Sunday for Hamas to agree to a 20-point deal. And what they really just agreed to now is to negotiate on that deal. Now, frankly, the ball is back in the White House court. Back to you.
I can see how that ball is back in the White House court because the question becomes now, do they negotiate, or has Hamas just rejected a non-negotiable deal, in which case President Trump said the situation would be that Israel would be turned loose on Hamas.
They've now just accepted that they will negotiate. Shit, I mean, these guys can just shake their heads. I don't know. Honestly, it seems like they really do not want to have peace. Okay, let's quickly finish up this one.
Getting information on right now is potentially a big one. Hamas has reportedly agreed, and we really want to make sure that that this is where they are right now, because we know that Hamas has gone back and forth on this 20-point deal and whether or not they would agree to it all. But there is indications that they are offering to release the remaining hostages, dead and alive, and this is coming from Reuters this afternoon. Now, President Trump gave the group until Sunday evening to accept his Gaza peace plan. We don't know if they have agreed to all of these elements, though, so we need to just sort of tread carefully here as we wait to see exactly what they have agreed to. Let's bring in Fox News contributor and National Review Institute fellow Douglas Murray, who joins us by phone. Douglas, good to have you with us. As I said, we're just getting the early indications on this. What are your thoughts at this point?
My first thoughts are that it needs to be treated with considerable caution. Hamas know they have 2 more days, of course, and they are world experts at dragging things out. It seems from what the reports that have come through so far, they've said that they're willing to negotiate about these matters. But it is certainly a cause for optimism that the release of all...
Can we just quickly look at this? This is the main points of the US peace plan. War will immediately end. All hostages, alive and deceased, will be returned within 72 hours. Number 3, Israel will release 250 life sentence prisoners plus 1,700 Gazans. Hamas members could be given amnesty. Shit, they just want everything. Hamas will not have any role in the governance of Gaza. I guess that's a big one, eh? Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. That's also another big one. Wow. Gaza will be governed by temporary transitional government. Board of Peace chaired by President Trump and others, including former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Possible path, last one, possible path to Palestinian self-determination and statehood. Wow, this is a massive, massive. Wow. I really hope that he can pull this off. And I mean, so from this, it seems like they want independent third party to take over the whole Gaza area.
All of the remaining hostages is first and foremost among the things mentioned. There are two main issues that the Israeli government has said they wanted from the start of this war. They wanted the return of all hostages and for Hamas to cease running the Gaza. If Hamas are indeed open to both of those things, there will be lots of negotiations still to come, but this could well mean the end of the war.
That would be amazing. That would really be amazing. I really hope that they can pull this off.
All right. Douglas, I just want to bring you into what we're learning now, and that is exactly what I mentioned and exactly what Douglas is mentioning, which is that Hamas is trying to negotiate this deal, right? They have until Sunday night. The latest that we're seeing...
Just look at this place. Look at this place. I mean, who the fuck can live here?
...is that they have agreed to some parts of it, but not other parts of this agreement. And let's put back up on the screen the 20 points to this agreement, because obviously there are issues that they're going to have with some of this. And, you know, Douglas, this outline of this plan calls for them to basically give up all their weapons and leave leadership in Gaza. Do you think that they will agree to that?
I think in some ways that will be the hardest bit to get them over the line on. But there are reassurances in the Trump peace plan that there could be, for instance, an amnesty for Hamas terrorists who put down their arms and wish to leave. Obviously, there'll be a lot of issues within that, issues of trust from Hamas's side about that. But the peace plan is a very comprehensive plan that all sides, apart from Hamas, have accepted. And I think that they must, at the moment, be feeling the pressure, not least of their Arab allies, who have already signed on to this plan, saying to them, you know, you are the only thing now keeping the war going. Hamas is the only entity that is keeping the war going. If everybody else in the region, including Israel, has agreed to these plans, why are Hamas still refusing to do so? And the pressure on them in the region, and indeed from their backers, I think at this moment will be considerable. But it's certainly a cause for some optimism that they seem to realize that this time the deadline of Sunday is a real deadline.
Well, they have seen how President Trump deals with these real deadlines in the past, certainly in Iran, after giving them 60 to 90 days to end their nuclear weapons program. That opportunity was not taken, and we saw what happened with the B-2 bombers in Iran. And I think Hamas has gotten the message. But whether or not, you know, this, as we have all said, caution is the word to keep in mind here as we look at these early reports from Reuters that Hamas has accepted some of the elements of this plan.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Fox News. Whoever just had live coverage there. Hopefully he's not fucking around anymore now. Sunday is his deadline. And for everybody involved, I really hope that they accept this deal and then work from there onwards. On this side, it's just breaking news here in Taiwan. So I thought I'll just put it out there. Alright, YouTube, let's all hope by Monday we have a peaceful Gaza. And then